I'm not going to pretend that I'm Chris Do by any stretch of the imagination, but in a recent video on the Future channel, which you definitely have to subscribe to, he goes into refining a sales process with 3 members of the Future Pro community. It's a fantastic video. But there's something that Melinda brings up. We'll play it right now.
It's hard to be present, to let go of our assumptions, especially when, and we talked about this yesterday in the sales conversation, when you need money, when you're hoping to land the job. And I see, or I'm hearing you describe how your conversation would be with a client. And I'm thinking, well, Chris is going in as if he doesn't need the job.
And in the context of a sales process, a pre-sales process, this is a great question. Actually, it's a great feeling. I think a lot of freelancers, consultants, especially the ones who are early on, and even the more veteran ones, I've been selling for quite some time now, there's always a certain fear of wanting to close a sale, wanting to do business with that big brand. You know, really just having a strong affinity with the customer that's in front of you and thinking to yourself, boy, I would love to work with you and your team. But what I've learned over the years, and I think what Chris is really alluding to throughout this video, is you do have to become emotionally detached from the sale. I've been in this business long enough as a consultant, as a web person, agency, and selling software, that a deal is never done until it's signed on the dotted line. I started out selling cars, and I moved into software and services, and then an agency, and now back to software and services. I know that a deal is never done until the person hands me the check or some cold hard cash. I've also been in business long enough to know that it is a roller coaster ride. You're going to have your ups and downs, and the best way to deal with it is to know that it's coming, right? To know that you're going to lose the big deals that you really, really want, and you're going to win deals that sometimes you thought you were never going to win, or maybe didn't even want to win in the first place. And how do we become emotionally detached? And I think Chris does this really well and explains it really well, that you have to be present with your customer when you're having this conversation, be it pre-sales or some kind of like executive presentation. And it's obvious to most folks, right? We all say, well, why are you better than the competition? Like if I were a customer saying, why should I hire you to build my website? You might say, well, I listen better than anybody else. And there's the act of listening, and then there's listening. And the act of listening is you're smiling, you're nodding your head, you're looking them in the eyes, and you're writing notes down, and you're doing copious amounts of research, and it's all sort of like data-driven. Now, if you've been following this channel for a little while, I have this thing called the digital handshake, and there's another level of listening. It goes to looking at their body language, how they're talking to you. Are they looking at you? How fast are they going through their questions? Is it just this real sterile question and answer form that they want you to fill out as they interview you? Do they only want to really get right to the point that leaves you feeling in your gut, boy, they're probably just using me as a bouncing board for pricing, and they've already decided on like another agency or service? There's a lot of this stuff comes over time. It doesn't come immediately. It's very hard to train somebody to pick up on these cues with a customer until you've had thousands of sales calls. And not just in the web business. I'd implore you to try to be a car salesman. A lot of people like to belittle the car salesman and say that they're terrible and they're just trying to pull one over on you. Try to be a car salesman and let me know how well you do. Then apply that knowledge to your web business. Understand how the physical sales process works, the handshake, again, the body language, that kind of thing. Anyway, getting back to becoming emotionally detached from the pre-sales process or the sales process, it's going to come over time. You're going to get better at this as you have more sales calls. But the one most important fact, aside from being present and really, really listening and asking the right questions to the customer, is confidence. And Chris gets into this in this video where he sort of slaps them on the wrist sometimes when they start to go back to having a framework or throwing a label on something, and that's very true. See, a lot of us starting out in the space, we don't want to screw up. So, well, we hire people like Chris and we go into workshops and programs to make us a better agency owner, and that's awesome. I think there is definitely a need for that. It really helps you pour a nice foundation. But sometimes it's just about identifying the value in front of you. It's just about having the human connection, a conversation, and exploring, deeper into somebody's problems. And when you're having that conversation about value, and not value-based selling, but understanding value in what you can offer the customer and what you can offer your own business, things change a little bit. Now, let me give you an example. See, Chris can emotionally detach from a sale because he knows he can pretty much do anything for a customer. He has the confidence, he's been doing it for a while, he has a cachet of a team and services and experiences behind him that he can go into a sale and know that he only really wants to do business with the right customer. And maybe that's what you want to do too. You just want to do business with the people who will gladly pay you a good value of money for the services that you're providing. And therefore, it's a great value for your business, for you to do business with them. You might be able to go into a setting and not have to force yourself into thinking about a framework or a process. So like I said, he slaps them on the wrist a little bit by trying to label and frame stuff because maybe some people are thinking, how do I sell this customer a website? Maybe that's not what you should be doing at all. Maybe you should be selling them a consultation service, talking to their executive team for an hour, right? Maybe they can't afford your $10,000 website service, but they'd happily pay you $5,000 or $1,000 for, a 45-minute executive presentation. Give them the broad brushstrokes of the problems that you see in their business and how you would identify them and solve them within their corporation. Find new opportunity. Build the confidence. Know that you are the master of what you can do. That's where you start to build that confidence. You're a great website builder, have the confidence in that and lead with that, but look for new opportunities along the way. This is a great video. Check it out. Definitely subscribe to the Future channel. It's mattreport.com, mattreport.com/subscribe to join that mailing list. Have any questions, post them below. Love to hear your thoughts. We'll see you in the next video.